Hello world, welcome again to my YouTube channel. My name is Director Denard, and in this special video I'm going to be sharing with you an important message. I'm going to be sharing with you the code of success in the universe. This is how the universe operates. This is not my opinion. This is not something to be debated about. This is something that has been happening. This is how the universe has been operating for thousands of years, and it will so for the next thousands of years. It's just universal code, universal law. I've got a message from the universe, and I would like to share with you this message. As you can see, it's a very basic video, nothing fancy, no fancy background music, just classics. It's going to be a long video, and I'm going to share with you three principles or the three codes of the universe that lead to success. If you observe these three codes, if you observe these rules, then you're guaranteed to receive success in whatever you're doing. It's just how the universe works. And if you miss out on even one, then you'll be having challenges. This message is for those who are about to break through in their success. They're just missing one of the three things which I'm going to explain in this video. And I also explain why the 90% have already clicked off in the third code or the final code. Alright, so the universe has its laws, it has its principles on how it operates. Everything you see is by design. Wealth is by design, and the opposite is also by design. So nothing is happening out of randomness. Everything is carefully calculated. So there are three things you must know or you must put in place. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter whether you're a Forex trader, you're a real estate agent, you're into music, you're a film creator, you're a politician, you're a businessman, it doesn't matter what you do, you must abide by these three principles. Principle number one is information. You must have information in whatever you're doing. By information, I mean you must know the facts. You must know the facts. You must have the facts. You must know what you're doing. So, with information, this is what other people call education. You need to get educated on the subject. If you're a Forex trader, like those on my channel, you must have the right strategy. By information, I mean you must have the right strategy, you must have the right risk management plan, you must have the right cycle, you must be informed, you must be in the know. If you're in real estate, you must know the best properties, you must know the best deals, you must be out there getting the real stuff. If you're a politician, you must know your cards. If you're a businessman, you must know that business. If you're an innovator, you must know the product you're designing. You must have that information right. That's number one. It's very important, information. And we live in the day and age where information is very much accessible. This is the information age. Internet has made access to information very, very fast. Information is right on your fingertips. You can access all types of information in just under 5 minutes. You can go from knowing what's happening in Japan right now to how to design a rocket in literally 10 minutes. So information is very much readily available, especially in this day and age, and that has made success even much more easier. There's never been an age where success is literally accessible to everyone. Now it depends on you whether you want it or not, but it's out there. You can get it. Everyone can become successful. Doesn't matter whether from a first world country or a third world country. You as long as you have internet access, you can literally gain access to all the necessary information in your specific field to become successful. So number one, it's information. Number two is action. This is code number two, action. You must take action Once you have the information, the next step is action. Now, most people out there, they have information but they're not taking action. You know what works but you're not applying it. You need to learn stuff and then apply it. You must take action. It's very important. Without taking action, it doesn't matter how much you know. There's no other way around it. That's how it works. You must take action. Now, the final code, and this is the most important one. Now, this is where most people get thrown off. You see, it's very easy to know what you must do to become successful, but it's extremely, I won't say it's very hard, but it's extremely, you need enormous amounts of discipline to carry out code number 3. Code number 3 is time. Yes, after having information and taking action, you must allow time to play out. Time is what makes everything come together. Whatever business you're in, you must allow it time. Whatever industry you're in, you must allow time to play its part. Now, this is extremely difficult, especially in this day and age, because we live in an age where it's difficult to pay attention. It's difficult to it's difficult to focus for even 1 month. People can't focus for even 3 days. One day they're jumping into another thing. It's crazy. It's happening out there. People can't focus. You need time. You need to focus. Focus is time. Now, we live in an age where there's a lot of information, which is a good thing but also a bad thing in a way that it distracts you. A lot of information can become distracting. There's a lot of advertising everywhere. You're on YouTube, you see YouTube ads. You go to Instagram ads, Facebook ads. You turn on your TV, there are adverts, radio adverts. So what that does to your mind is it makes you suffer from what we call short attention span. You can't focus. You can't stick to one thing because they are dragging you to different things. Every advertiser is trying to sell you something. They're trying to drag you in all these different directions. So you can't stay on one thing. You can't focus. And that's the biggest challenge. People can't allow time. Time is focus. You need to be able to allow whatever information you have and whatever action you're taking, you need to allow it enough time for it to play out. This is very challenging. That's why I said that 90% of people who started this video already jumped off. If you stayed up to this point, your frequency is screaming success. You're going to see success very soon in your life. If you stayed this long in this video, I'm not making this video because of views or anything. I'm just passing on a message. This is how the universe operates. This is not a video for views. It's not for likes. It's not for. I'm not going to ask anyone to subscribe because of this video. You can subscribe because of my other videos, but for this video, I'm just passing a message. This is how the universe has been operating for years. Information, action, time. Now it's extremely difficult to allow time to play out because it's for you to stick on one thing and to see it through when there are so many things calling, when there are bills to pay, when there's parties to be had, when there's social media to attend to, when there's TikTok. That's why people have platforms like TikTok. And they want everything to happen fast. Everyone wants quick success. Everyone wants it fast. Now. Give me everything in 3 seconds. Give me everything in 15 seconds max. That's why people click on a video, and if they don't see anything entertaining in the first 3 seconds, they're clicking skip. It's crazy. People can't focus. And that's why if you can focus in this day and age, if you can, because we have the information out there, you can take action if you want it bad enough. And if you can focus on anything that you're doing, on your goals, on your dreams, on your aspirations, on your ambitions, if you can focus and allow time to play out, 99% you're guaranteed to see success. Yes, that's how it works. Now, I'm going to explain some interesting dynamics that some people might face, some challenges that some people might face, and why they're not successful. It's very important that you have these 3 things in line. You must have information, and by information I mean the right information. Now, it's possible that some people have wrong information. So you have information which is not to the right standards in that particular industry you're operating in. You lack strategy. If you lack strategy, it means you lack some bits of information. So in that case, you might be acting on wrong information, and you've acted on this information for a long period of time. That's a very painful place to be at, and I've been in that place when it comes to forex trading. I've been in a place where I'm acting on wrong information. In this particular case, I'll be acting on the wrong strategy. If you're acting on the wrong strategy, it doesn't matter how much time you give it, you're still not going to see success, and that's a painful place to be at. Some people are in another dynamic. They have information and they are not acting. Time has passed, years, they are not taking action. Now, that's a difficult place to be at. If you're a place where you're not taking action, you're not going to see success. That's how it works. These are universal principles. This is the law. The universe has laws. It's like gravity. You don't debate with it. You just need to act in that frequency. And another interesting dynamic is where you have literally no information. This is very sad. Some people literally have no information. They're just taking action and they're not even allowing time. So this is a very crazy mess to be in. You're just doing things randomly. These are people who start businesses and in 1 week they're jumping into another business. These people don't have information, so they're probably out there getting scammed. It's people who get scammed lack information and they don't even allow time to play out. So they're literally just taking massive actions. They're taking action upon action, and they literally don't have the other two codes or the other two principles at play. So those people have it very rough. They have it very rough. These are people who get scammed on crypto Ponzi schemes, because if you have enough information, you wouldn't get scammed. You would know that, oh, this is a scam. If you have enough information, you wouldn't invest in a Ponzi scheme, because if you have the right information, you would be able to know that this is a Ponzi scheme. And if you have enough time, if you allow time to play out, you wouldn't even jump in immediately, because you'd first at least allow some time to analyze what's going on, so you wouldn't get scammed. You see how these principles play out? You see, once you have these three things acting in your favor, you have information, everything you do, it doesn't matter what business you do, ask yourself, do I have the right information? Do I know? In other words, am I in the know? Do I know what's going on? Secondly, now you're taking action. If you know, do you want to go ahead and execute the business? Or depending on what you know, this is not the type of business you want to be in. And thirdly, if it's executing, are you allowing time to play out? Are you allowing enough time for the mustard seed to grow? Now, it's extremely important that you apply these principles in your business. And it's extremely important that you ask yourself, do I have the right information? Now, there's a lot of information out there. We live in the information age, but that doesn't guarantee that you're getting the right information. You could be getting half-baked information. So you need to make sure that you dig deeper. The right information is out there. You just need to dig a little deeper, and you'll find that once you get the right information, once you have the ability, once you have the discipline to take action, in other words, to act, to execute, to get started. Action means starting. Action means going out there and meeting people. Action means going out there and getting capital. Action means starting whatever that you have to start. That's action. Action means acting on information. That's action. In trading, action would be opening that account and starting to execute trades. That's action. Now, time. Some people might ask, how much time is enough time? Is it 1 month? Is it 2 months? Is it 5 years? Now, everything must be allowed at least 3 stages. There's the first stage, which is trial and error. This is the stage where you're going to make some mistakes. They're inevitable. It doesn't matter how much information you have. You're going to make some mistakes in the beginning. It has to happen. This is universal law. I'm not offering my opinions there. I'm just communicating. This is the universe. That's how it works. It's like gravity. It works every time. So in everything, it doesn't matter whether you're Elon Musk or you're Bill Gates or you're Jeff Bezos. The moment you start with trial and error, and there's going to be some mistakes made. You saw when Elon Musk is launching his satellites in space, it doesn't happen magically that he starts off with successful flights. There's some mistakes they make in the beginning. It happens. So you're going to start with mistakes. That's the mistakes phase. Then the next phase after the mistakes phase is the working but something is missing stage. This is where things are working but something is still missing. You can see that, okay, now I have it, it's working, but it's not working the way it should be. It's not. Now there are people who get actually stuck on this stage and they never improve, and you can be pretty successful at this stage, but it's not the best, it's not the most optimum stage. It's the working but not fully working stage, if that makes sense. And then the final stage is the aha moment, is where the light bulb goes on. This is the stage where things are now, this is the light zone, this is the green zone. This is where you go, all right, I got it, finally. This is where you go, finally, it's working. Yes, you have no doubts now. It works and you're very confident about it, no doubts. Now this is, I'm trying to calculate the time conundrum. In other words, we're trying to see how much time is enough time, because people have that question, should I give this piece of business 1 month, 2 months? Now again, this is, now I'm going to give you something that you can work with, a time frame that you can work with, and if you don't see results in that time frame, then you need to revisit the first 2. If you don't see results in this particular time frame, you must revisit either information. Do you have the right information? Do you have the right strategy? Do you have the right marketing? Do you have the right copyright if you're doing advertising? And within this time frame, you should see if you have, you see, success does not take a lot of time, but you need to give it time, but not a lot. Okay, because if you do something for a very long time and you're not successful, it simply means that something is missing, either information or you're not taking the right action. Something is missing in the other codes. These things work in unison. If you have enough time and it's not working out, information is missing. If you have enough information and you're taking action, you're not allowing enough time. If you're taking a lot of your action and you're allowing a lot of time, you're missing information. So the 3 work in unison. Now this is a generalization. It might not apply to every business, but it applies to at least 99% of whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing, this is a general time frame. Now, all these 3 stages, the trial and error, the I'm there but not yet there stage, and then the aha moment. Everything should happen within 9 months. Yes, 9 months is the universal time frame. 9 months. People give birth in 9 months. I'm not going to go into details. I'm just communicating. You take this or leave it. It's very simple. But I guarantee you, this information I'm giving you is from the universe, and it's undebatable. Now, in 9 months, there should be 3 months for trial and error. You should allow trial 3 months. Things don't take forever. Some people think, oh, I've been doing this for 2 years. No, you've not been taking enough action in those 2 years, or in those 2 years you didn't have enough information. You are still learning. Remember, when I say information, I'm not talking about the time where you're starting out to learn the basics. I'm talking about the time where you now graduate, the time where you now have the whole picture, the whole information. From that time where you have the whole picture and you start taking action, you're acting on right information. 3 months trial and error. Trial and error. 3 months. Not 1 week, not 3 days. Now you'd be surprised how difficult it is in this Gen Z millennial generation to stay focused for 3 months. People don't give anything 2 weeks. I'm telling you, it's crazy. People want to learn trading in 1 day. I receive messages every day. How can I learn trading today? And tomorrow they want to deposit. Now, these people are taking action, which is okay. They're taking action, but they're not ready to get enough information, and they're not ready to allow time, which is very dangerous. If you're taking massive amounts of action, you're going to get banned a lot. Now, 3 months, you have the right information, you're taking action. 3 months is for trial and error. You should be able to see, you should be able to gauge whatever you're doing. In trading, I'm not using trading as an example, but this applies to anything. You could be starting you could be Elon Musk launching Neuralink. 3 months trial and error. Then the second phase of where it works, but it's not yet actually there. This is another 3 months. Those are 6 months. 3 months of it's working, but it's not yet there. You should be able to see that after 3 months of trial and error, acting on information and taking action. Now, in the final stage of the aha moment, which happens between the 7th month and the 9th month, that is where you crack the code. It's not explicitly guaranteed that it should take 9 months, but that is a window. That's a normal window to work within. Okay? It's a normal window. Sometimes it can happen as early as 1 month. If you have enough information, guys, success doesn't take forever. The only things that take forever or that take a long time is gathering information. Most people are in that phase. Information. What should I do? What should I do? How does it work? People go to school for 16 years to gather information. People go to college. People attend seminars. They look for mentorship. They're gathering information. Now, some people might say, oh, it took me 7 years. It took me 10 years. I've been in this industry for 5 years. But what they were doing all those 5 years, they weren't working on success. No, they were simply gathering information. So it took them a long time to know what to do. So and it's important to know that gathering information does not equate to success. It took you 7 years to gather information. It didn't take you 7 years to become successful. Okay, you might say, well, if the information was what I needed to become successful, then ideally you're right. It took you 7 years, but the actual flame doesn't take 7 years. It happens the moment you have the 3 things in place. It doesn't matter how long you take to gather the information. The moment you have these 3 things, maximum 9 months. That's how it happens. The moment you have 3 things in place and you're taking action and you're allowing time, 9 months. Now, should you give your business 9 months? Should you give your new idea or whatever you're working on, your dreams, your ambitions, should you give them 9 months? What are your dreams? This is very subjective. You should give your idea or your business 9 months, but not your dreams, because dreams can be relative. They can be, your dream might be to own a yacht. Your dream might be to own a mansion, a $10 million mansion. Now, should you give your $10 million mansion 9 months? No, because that's an asset. You see, some people have dreams that are purchases. You want to purchase something as your dream. This law does not apply to how long it takes to buy a house. No, this law only applies to making something right. It can be a business, it can be getting into a position of power, it can be winning a contract, it can be getting success in a career. So this has nothing to do with purchasing stuff or obtaining material possessions. No, I'm talking about principles for success in a particular field or in a particular profession or career. I'm talking about winning. You need these 3 things. Now, once your business plays out, once your business becomes successful, it's up to you to go ahead and use whatever success you're getting from your business to now purchase your dream assets or your dream liabilities or whatever they are. So that's very important to note. This applies to careers, success, professions. I'm going to explain an interesting dynamic why people 50, 70 years ago, what has changed? Why is it that people 50 years ago were able to achieve success better than us in this generation? Even if we have better odds or we have better chances of getting success. Now, 50 years ago, they didn't have one important principle, or they didn't have one important code or principle easily accessible, and that is information. So you had to go to school, you had to go to college, you had to go to a university to obtain information, and all that used to take time. So people in that day and age didn't have access to information easily. That's why it was known that in order for you to be successful, you had to go to school. That was the song. Go to school, go to school, go to school. And what they are trying to say, go get informed, go get information. And because the world was a bit much slower that time, it wasn't very slow, but it wasn't as fast as it is today. People would allow time to play out in everything that they do. You go to school for years, you get that degree, and when you come out, you allow time to play out in whatever industry you're in. So that's why people in the golden age, in the 50s, in the 60s, they were more successful than this current generation. They used to allow the 3 principles to play out. Now, another advantage they had was that there weren't so many distractions. The world was quieter, it was more peaceful. You could easily start something and you stick to it for 1 year, 2 years. Easy. Nowadays, it's the opposite. It's very difficult to stick to something for 1 year. I'm telling you, go check in your industry how many people come in and then they fall out before 6 months. Very many. Now, in this day and age where we have access to information, for some reason we have lost out on the principle of allowing time. So we have information and we're taking action, but we're not allowing enough time. So you can see how the dynamics have changed. And only those who are able to see through the 3 principles are able to achieve success in this day and age. That's why if you talk to any successful person and you ask them, what should I do? They'll tell you, find something you're passionate about and do that. So what ideally happens if you're passionate about something is you're going to allow enough time, you're going to stay in that industry or in that career because you're passionate about it and you have nothing to do about it. You have to just stick there whether it's working or not. So once you stick there for long enough, you're going to gather the right information and you're taking action. Boom, it comes together. Success. And whether you're conscious about this or not, the principles have to come into play. That's why it's very common for passionate people to eventually break through or to eventually become successful. They'll tell you, oh, I was very passionate about this, I was doing my best, I was working hard, and in actual sense they were letting the 3 principles play out. So it's important. Now, why is this information very important? Assuming you're in an industry you're not passionate about. You're not passionate about something, but maybe it's financially rewarding, like real estate or law. You need to know these principles so that you don't eventually lose steam when things are about to take off. So another interesting dynamic that's happening these days, and why you should know these principles, you should be conscious, is now sometimes people have the right information and they're taking action, but because they don't allow enough time, so they end up dropping the information they have. So you have right information, but you're still in the trial and error stage. So that's why it's important that you have a mentor. A mentor should be able to give you confidence in whatever that you're doing, that your information is right. So the only missing piece of the puzzle is time, so you stick to it. If you don't have a mentor and you're doing this by yourself, you're easily bound to juggle the information you have. So you replace good information with another piece of information, which could be bad. But now, because you didn't allow time for this information to play out right in your career or in your industry, you didn't allow it time to play out, and you're now replacing it with another piece of information. You see how that becomes, you see how things become complicated, but they're easy. But now the dynamics begin to complicate them out. You have information, you're taking action, you've acted on this information only in the trial and error phase, 3 months, and you're switching it up. You're switching it up with something else. And that's very difficult. So many people are in that cycle. So many people are acting on the right information and they're changing it before it actually works out. So think of it this way. You plant something in the ground, okay? And you start watering it. And before it germinates, before it comes out to grow, it's still growing, but it's inside the ground. You dig it out. No, the seeds won't grow. You dig them out. You plant new seeds. Before they germinate, before they come out, you dig them out. So people are in that cycle for years. Unless you're going to allow the right amount of time on the right information, then it becomes difficult. That's why they say success is difficult. But what they're actually trying to say is it's difficult to have these 3 principles under your control. So why is consciousness very important? When you know these things, you can easily circumnavigate them. You can easily know what's going on. You can easily say, okay, I'm going to make my research, I make sure I gather the right information, and I make sure that I learn what I'm doing. I'm going to take action for this amount of time. Easy. Now, if you stayed around up to this time in this video, chances are you're very passionate and you're taking massive amounts of action. I'm not saying this because I want to hype you up or because I want you to feel good, but chances are you're going to be successful. And the reason why I say that is, you see this video here, this is the message of wealth. Wealth communicates in a boring way. Look at this video, look at my background, boring. The message, no fancy music, no fancy editing, just plain simple. That's how wealth communicates. And if you've been picking information from the beginning of this video and you're still here, well, guess what? This is a message to you. Success is communicating, and you're eventually going to see success. You just need to know one thing. Where are you missing? Where is the missing puzzle? Is it information? If you've been acting onto something for a long time, then check your information. Make sure you get your facts straight. Go back and learn. Find someone who's successful in that field and learn from them. Make sure you pick the right information. If you've just started out in your career or in your business, you haven't allowed 9 months in whatever you're doing, you haven't had a time frame of 9 months play out, then you better do. But make sure that you're acting on the right information, so that you don't waste your time acting on information which is not up to date. So yes, the universe is communicating. I made this video intentionally plain and simple because that's how wealth communicates. You see, the stuff that doesn't add you up, or the stuff that doesn't grow you financially, it always comes in a flash. It's always, you see how movie trailers are made. They're always bang, 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 2 minutes. They're very brief and they're very, they hype you up. Oh, this December, it's going to happen, bang. You see how adverts are made, like adverts to purchase silly products on TV. They're fancy, they're very hyped up, adverts for alcohol, they're always styled up. That's how bullshit communicates. Okay, that's how. But wealth communicates in the total opposite way. It's quiet, it's boring, it's the way it is, the way this video is made. So if you made it up to the end of this video, you have, and I'm not saying this to motivate you, I'm not a motivational speaker, I speak facts. Now whether they motivate you or not, that's up to you, but this is a message. You have higher chances, higher than 90% of the population, of seeing success. Put the 3 puzzles together, put the 3 principles together, and I can guarantee you, you'll come back and comment on this video that whatever you are doing saw success. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.